Hello, everyone. So here we are again. Today, I want to talk about traveling. I have the pleasure of being in London at the Pan Pacific Hotel, which is this really beautiful hotel here in London. And for the last few days, I was over in Brighton, which is this really gorgeous beach town here in England that I'm enamored by. I'm so like it was just so beautiful, so diverse. So many queer folks. I loved seeing pride flags everywhere and couples holding hands and being sweet and being gentle with each other and gender expansive and trans people just like living our best lives. Like that makes me happy. And I have an understanding that not all places are like that. So I'm so glad that Brighton was that, right? And now I'm in London, and London's a little different than Brighton, but it's still really, really cool. But I thought I would do a little bit about traveling while being trans. There are many things that we have to consider when traveling. We should travel. I think traveling is one of the most magical things that we can do to get to know people and cultures outside of what we know. When we travel, and the more that we travel, we're able to right size ourselves and see that we're no greater or no smaller than anybody else, that we share so many similarities and we live so similarly to each other. There's been times I love people watching. There's been times when I see people and I'm like, oh God, people are just like that in the US too. Like, and I see moms being moms and like loving their kids and chasing them around and kids being kids, right? Just like running around being wild and crazy, which made me it made me miss my nephews and my niece who are just like the sweetest and rowdiest bunch. And I absolutely adore them. Um, But with that comes a lot of how do I gauge my safety, right? Because I have to do it when I'm back home. Life is lifey and people are peoply. And it's a scary world that we live in. Even though it is beautiful and we should be able to step into all of these places, not all of the places are for us. And rather than trying to fight the good fight, which I never want to stop a good fight of the fight, I think that's something that we should always be able to do, but we're not going to be able to be our own personal revolutionaries everywhere that we go around the world. So we do have to consider what our safety is. And I like to think about my emotional, my spiritual, and my physical safety. And my emotional safety is, my spiritual safety are very similar, right? So it's pretty much about myself and how I can manage and control or navigate uncomfortable situations. My spiritual safety has a lot to do with what it is that I want. It has a lot to do with my peace uh, as a person, as a human, as somebody who uh, wants a balanced and beautiful time anywhere and everywhere that I am. It actually connects a lot to my safety, right? And I know it's, but it is. It's like my spirituality and my safety, they go hand in hand. So that's why spiritual safety is there. Um, I'm not always going to be able to meditate. I'm not always going to be able to take time to pray things away. Like, that's not the reality, but I have to find my peace in any situation that I find myself in, no matter what. So that's why I say the emotional and the spiritual are so similar, because then I have to sit with myself and manage my emotions. I'm going to be misgendered. There are always going to be people that are going to make me feel like I am less than. whatever it is that they want me to be or that I'm not in their eyes. So I have to be prepared. Like there was a number of times during this trip where I was misgendered a couple of times. I mean, there were some times when people called me Mister. It's just so crazy to me, but it is what it is, right? Like, this is just one of the things that I'm going to have to deal with as a trans person, you know? The, there's many people that don't have to, and those people are, God bless them, right? Like, they are so privileged in that, but that's not the case for all of us. So for me, definitely that has not been the case. So I have to know, um, and sit with myself and say, Alex, these things are going to happen. Are you prepared for that? And how are you going to prepare for that? How are you going to navigate that? What system do you have prepared to support you when those things happen? I mean, at this point, I'm so accustomed to it, but I remember in the earlier years having to be like, I have to let go of the fact that people are going to misgender me. Because when they used to do it, it used to like tear me apart and I used to unravel at the seams. And when I unraveled, I went into self sabotage, right? Because dysphoria is a bleep. but, but some of the tools that I use now is mindfulness, sit with myself. Remember that who I am is not dictated by anybody else, and I don't have to sell my existence to anybody. I don't have to convince anybody of who I am. All I have to do is just live. Live as who I am. And if they're mistaken, they're mistaken. That's their journey, not mine. Right? So that's how I manage my emotional, my spiritual safety. But then the physicality, right? The physical safety aspect is something that we definitely have to take into consideration often because we don't know, especially when in a foreign land, when we're so far away from home, we don't know how people are going to receive us or if somebody wants to bring us physical harm. So one of the ways that I navigate that is, one, I'm never anywhere by myself. And if I am, it's very, very public, a cafe, uh, things of the sort. Two, do a little research about where you're going to be, what is the culture of the people, um, because it will pretty much allow for me to know, like, okay, well, this is what I have to prepare for. This is what I have to prepare emotionally and spiritually for. And also, sometimes you'll know, like, if I'm going to a very heavy religious area, my existence may be met with physical harm, again, not because faith uh, immediately says that, oh, you're going to hurt me, but so many times people use faith as a weapon, and it gives them permission to be physical with people like us. So yeah, those are the ways that I've been able to kind of like navigate and manage my physical, my emotional, my spiritual safety. One of the ways that I also do is I stay in contact with people at home. Make sure that you're touching base regularly with your families, your chosen or your given families, and or, right? Because so many of us now have access to having both chosen and our given families in our lives. Make sure that the people who love you know where you're at. So that way, if something does happen, um, somebody's looking for you, right? Somebody knows to look for you. And that's all I have today. I hope that that helps. Traveling can be terrifying, like so many things when we step into our truth. But it's really, really fulfilling and it's really magical. And I encourage everybody to, live fully, live your very, very best and delicious life as much and as often as you can. You know, there may be more lives. We never know. But as of right now, I know that I have this one and I'm going to make this one count. And I encourage that you do the same for the love of us. Mwah. Until next time. Bye.